Good morning and good afternoon. My name is Jared Fritz, and I'm a loss control specialist with the IAT Insurance Group, and I'm based in Jacksonville, Florida. The topic that I'd like to talk to you about and present today is on the topic of safe parking while on the road. Common safe parking topics that we have normally heard in the presentations have centered commonly around theft and cargo security. And while this is obviously a very worthwhile topic, the topic that I'm going to present today is a little bit different when it comes to truck parking, when it comes to safe parking. Hundreds of millions of dollars in losses a year in equipment damage and lost time, work time, are the result of truck parking lot accidents. Taking into account factors such as low travel speeds, percentage of non-moving vehicles, adequate lighting, and marked parking spaces, truck parking facilities such as truck stops and rest areas should be safe zones for the hardworking commercial drivers that keep this country moving. In the next few slides, we will discuss and share best practices and tips that can help you to decrease or eliminate these losses. For those of you who are listening that have been in the trucking industry for several decades, you can remember the days of 40 and 45-foot box van trailers. Well, as you know, those days are long gone. As combinations have grown, so has the potential for parking lot accidents among commercial trucks. Did you know that in the past 50 years, the size of a standard dry van trailer has increased by 13 feet in length and 6 inches in width? Along with the continued increase in congestion at truck parking locations, many facilities you may park at were not designed for tractor-trailer combinations of this size, potentially leading to a rise in accidents and the severity of equipment damage that may occur. While the following best practices and tips may be common sense to some of us who have been in this industry for a while, there may be a few that you haven't considered, or maybe just some tips and best practices that you haven't thought of in quite some time that may be a good reminder. Tip number 1, pre-plan your day and your route to park at a known location with adequate room and lighting. If possible, stop early for the night to secure a safe parking location. Again, I realize some of these topics, along with the first one and this next one that I'm going to share with you, is easier said than done, but I still think it's worthwhile. Number 2, safety over convenience. The front of parking lots have more congestion and more continued through traffic. Park at the rear of the lot where there is more space available, and as an added bonus, it's always good to get more exercise as well. Number 3, the best parking options at any location to avoid accidents are pull-through parking spaces, followed by spaces that you have adequate room to back into. Avoid parking spaces that will force you to back out when leaving. Number 4, park your tractor and trailer as straight as possible in assigned spaces. And what we do in loss control, we talk about controls and exposures constantly. This would qualify as an exposure. The exposure you have if your tractor and trailer is not parked as straight as possible gives you much more exposure to an accident when other drivers are pulling or backing in beside you. Please make every effort to park as straight as possible in assigned spaces. Number 5, park next to other trucks that appear to be parked for the night and won't be moving. I think this is common sense, but it's also another topic that I believe is easy to overlook. If the window shades are drawn and the tractor next to you and the cab lights are out, more than likely, that truck may not be leaving for the night. Number 6, park beside a light pole on one side of your truck if space is available. This will lower the chances of getting struck by another truck on that side of your vehicle. Again, if you take out the exposures of one side of your truck, it lowers your overall risk. But again, only park if it's a legal parking space and properly marked and you have proper room to pull or back in next to the light pole. Number 7, dash cameras are a great investment to protect you and your equipment. We talk about this commonly in insurance and is a best practice for many different reasons. But I think hit and run collisions are common at truck parking locations, and these cameras may capture valuable footage while you are away from your truck or while you are sleeping. Use your four-way flashing lights when pulling through a crowded parking lot or backing up. Tiredness and fatigue, for obvious reasons, are common in drivers at truck stops. Four-way lights increase the chance of someone seeing you while you're pulling through, stopping, or preparing to back up. Number 9, record who is parked beside you, especially if the other truck appears to be too close, is over the parking stripe, or is angled poorly. Company name, DOT number, unit number, and license plate are all good information to record in these instances. Before I get to my number 10 and my final best practice or tip, there's something I would like to bring up. In these type accidents, backing, truck stop, parking lot type accidents among commercial vehicles, and I believe we've all been guilty of this if we've been in the industry for a while, it's easy and common to blame drivers with less experience, or maybe if they're with a certain company. However, in my experience, complacency among experienced drivers is just as big a concern in all aspects of safe driving, but especially when backing. GOAL, G-O-A-L, get out and look. Most professional drivers have heard this acronym before. However, it continues to remain the best way to avoid preventable backing accidents. All trucks have blind spots, especially when backing. Don't just think you're clear, know you're clear. Get out and look. For questions and suggestions, please contact Cynthia Scarborough. We would love to hear suggestions for future topics. Please feel free to reach out to her again. That's Cynthia Scarborough, and her email address is Cynthia, C-Y-N-T-H-I-A, period, Scarborough, SCARBOROUGH at IATinsurance.com. Thank you and have a good rest of your day.